Good evening, everyone. I'm Lissy Bastian. It's Thursday, March 12th. Thanks for staying with us. The Bahamas Christian Council, BCC, releasing their official position on the marijuana issue in the form of a report yesterday. The report indicating that the council rejects the use of marijuana for religious purposes, stating that they could not agree to sanctioning marijuana for religious purposes due to the psychoactive impact. While the report was spearheaded by Pastor Dave Burrows and other members of the BCC, including Pastor Lyle Bethel, Pastor Mario Moxie, Elder Cerrone Kennedy, and Pastor Kevin Harris, President of the BCC, Bishop Delton Fernandez. Now, in the BCC's report, they add that Rastafarians could be sufficiently covered under the small use category and would not face criminal prosecution. And while the Bahamas Christian Council makes it clear that the organization does not fully support the full legalization of marijuana and disapproves of the use of marijuana for recreational use, the BCC has no problem when the plant is used for medicinal reasons. When it comes to expunging the records of marijuana-related offenses, the BCC has held back on their comments until further notice. Bishop Fernandez says that they at the BCC will be preparing themselves as pastors for all forms of addiction. Meantime, outspoken clergyman Pastor Cedric Moss says the support from the Bahamas Christian Council for the use of medical marijuana is a grave and alarming mistake, although he says some aspects of the report are commendable. The BCC says it has no objection to medicinal marijuana as long as it's properly regulated and scientifically proven to be the best remedy for the condition prescribed. But according to Pastor Moss, not only is this grave and alarming, it's a stark and glaring contradiction, as in the same breath for support of medical marijuana, the BCC opposed the religious use. Pastor Moss is questioning the rationale for supporting smoking in the name of medicine, but opposing smoking in the name of religion. He added that with the Bahamas National Commission on Marijuana recommending the legalization of marijuana for medicinal purposes, if the government adopts the Commission's recommendations of marijuana use in the Bahamas, legal or illegal, it would undoubtedly increase alarming levels of societal harm. He contends that sadly, some of the responsibility for such an outcome will lay squarely at the feet of the Bahamas Christian Council. Pastor Moss, who is the senior pastor of Kingdom Life Church, says it's both his considered view and fervent hope that Bahamian voters, not a handful of parliamentarians, will be allowed to decide the place that marijuana should have in the Bahamas. He says deciding this matter by way of referendum would be the deepest expression of democracy to settle it, and is calling on the Prime Minister and the government to put the marijuana issue to the Bahamian people by way of referendum, the results of which the government would choose to abide by. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance Peter Turnquest strongly advising the opposition, the Progressive Liberal Party, to acquaint themselves with the details of the Royal Caribbean Cruise International RCCI project. Until then, he further advises the PLP to reserve all comments. RCCI is said to be in negotiations with the government to lease Crown land on Paradise Island. Now, earlier this week, leader of the PLP, Philip Davis, in issuing a statement, said the next PLP administration will cancel the agreement of lease between the government and RCCI, adding that his party fundamentally opposes what he called a secret deal stitched up by the government. Well, Mr. Turnquest responded with this.
The leader of the opposition should acquaint himself with the details of the project, and until he has an opportunity to do that, I would just only suggest that he might want to be reserved about the comments that he makes. The heads of agreement and all the details around this will be tabled eventually, all right? And so, I would only suggest that we wait for the details, and then they would have a legitimate position from which to make whatever comments they want to make.
Just last week, RCCI signed a heads of agreement with the government for the purchase of the Grand Lucayan Resort in Freeport, Grand Bahama. Well, Vice President of Government Relations Americas at Royal Caribbean Cruise Limited, Russell Benford, appearing as a guest on Love 97's daily talk show Issues of the Day, says RCCI and the government are in negotiations and there are two parts of the agreement. Mr. Benford told the show's host Wendell Jones that RCCI has purchased 13 acres of land on Paradise Island, and then there is a Crown land lease that is still awaiting approval by the government. When asked about the plans for the land purchased and the anticipation to lease, Mr. Benford says this.
Our plan is to develop a project called the Royal Beach Club.
In conjunction with the Crown land?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you do it only on the 13 acres that you have?
Well, we like to combine. We need, so the goal is to have a Royal Beach Club that has water attractions, swimming pool, things for kids to do, significant beach attractions. And we want to have a parcel that is large enough to accommodate about 3,500 of our guests.
According to Mr. Benford, RCCI has no partnership with any Bahamian individual or company, but says there will be many opportunities for Bahamians. Now, when asked why Bahamians should give RCCI exclusive arrangement for the Paradise Island deal, Mr. Benford says RCCI has been operating in the Bahamas for years. Now, in response to the opposition's contention that they will terminate any deal with RCCI made of Crown land leasing on Paradise Island, Mr. Benford says RCCI respects the government of the Bahamas and the people in those seats and will always respect the office of the Prime Minister and the Cabinet, no matter which political party is there, as they are here to work in the Bahamas. You're watching JCN News. Stay with us.
This segment of the news was brought to you by Alive.